Hi everybody, welcome to Sprague Woodturning. My name is Jim. If you haven't been here before, this is predominantly a turning channel where each and every week I show people how to make things on the lathe. If it doesn't go round, I typically don't like to do it. This week we're going to be working with some maple firewood. And I'm going to show you that you can take pieces like this and turn them into beautiful works of art. Really, that's the plan anyway. All right, let's get over to the casting bench. And I've got 3 of these. And I'll show you exactly what I have in mind for this week. All right, so we do firewood, and whenever we're doing firewood, I always seem to run across pieces that I think would be interesting in a casting. And this is hard maple, and you know, of course the hearts are gone out of these. But I was thinking that if we did one of these numbers, and then I've already split this one down the center, and we did something like this, we may have to pull this out and figure out exactly what we're going to use for a casting bucket. But, you know, it should give us a really neat look. We'll trim these and start casting. There is some spalting in these, a little bit. So we might be able to see that as we make this piece. But I don't know. We'll figure out the layout exactly, I don't know, something like this. Anyway, let's figure out what we're going to use for a casting bucket, and then we'll cut these up and get to casting. All right, so here is the bucket that we're going to use, and of course for all these buckets that I have, I make templates that go on the bottom of it, so it's easy to lay your pieces out. I'm thinking that this is where I want to be. I did have to cut off a little bit of a wing that was sticking out here on both of these so they'll fit closer together. There's another piece there. But I don't know. We'll have to try and figure out exactly what we want to do here. The one thing that I don't want is straight lines. So I definitely want to try and get rid of any of those, because straight lines in these castings, unless they're all straight lines, typically I find just don't look good. But I think that that's going to work. Something like that. Let's go with the bandsaw. So as you watch me cut these pieces up, I'd like to personally thank you all for stopping in to watch this week's video. And of course, this is going to be the 130,000 subscriber giveaway, where I'll be giving away this piece that I've made. And along with that, we'll also be giving away a 3-gallon kit of epoxy from Designer Epoxy. Thanks again to them for that giveaway. I also have other big news regarding the house, and it's just been an absolute crazy week. Lucky that I've even got this video done. Well, actually, it's still not done when I'm doing the voiceover, but I'm assuming that it's going to be done. But anyway, I will cover a lot more of that in depth here, but you know, this here is one of the things that I really like to do for my subscribers, to give back to them. And we're going to switch back to every 5,000 subscribers in the future here. It just took way too long to get another 10,000 subscribers in order to move on with this. So we're just going to clean these pieces up, and you know, between using a 40 grit flap sander and of course the brass coated brush, we're able to clean these pieces up and get them ready for casting. And there's what you want, nice and clean. Got a nice surface for the epoxy to bond to. So what we're going to do is glue these in place like I typically do with high temperature hot melt glue. That way hopefully the glue does not release and have your pieces float. And we'll also use Dwayne this week just to make sure that that doesn't happen. All right, that should hold our pieces, and I'm going to throw a weight on this as well. So that's what this will be used for. Let's mix up some resin. This week we're going to be using deep casting epoxy from Designer Epoxy. This is a fairly deep pour, fair bit of volume. So, you know, if you're not going to use a deep casting epoxy, you're going to get a ton of thermal cracking, and that's something we don't want to have this week. We're going to use a sapphire blue. Absolutely love this color. Yeah, it's just a beautiful color. So that's what I figured we would go with. I've never heard anybody say that they hated this color. So since it's a giveaway, I thought that I would use the sapphire blue because it's one of my favorites as well. I thought this casting might look cool with some pine cones in it, so I'm going to do that. These are off of our property here. Put one down in here. I'm sure that will float like it usually does. Same thing with these. Something like that. I am going to throw this on here because I don't want them to float out of the casting. And of course, we'll throw Dwayne on it. Yeah, it'll take that and maybe more. I'll be right back. All right, here's another 1.5 liters. Well, I'm going to give it half of that. Yeah, this is worrisome about thermal cracking. There's lots of wood in here, so I'm hoping that that kind of offsets it. But anyway, I'll mix up another 3/4 liter and I'll be right back. All right, this is going to do it because I'm really worried about this thermal cracking. If it does, we know how to deal with it, but this is another 3/4 liter, and we're going to be a little short, but let me get the measuring tape here. You know, this is sitting at 7 inches already, so that's 3 inches over the recommended depth of pour. All right, this will go into my pressure pot for 3 days, and we'll see you guys in there in 72 hours. Well, good morning. I was coming out to the workshop here to actually shoot the start of another video. So I thought I would check on this, and I see that it's cured. So that tells me that this probably overheated. I'm hoping that there's not going to be any thermal cracking in it, but I think it's best to pop this out, have a look at it, and if it's good, then I'll probably leave it till tomorrow because, you know, it does feel like it's a little soft, but a lot of the resin is pulled away from the side, which is usually an indication that it got quite hot, but let's find out. Well, I don't see any cracking on the very top. That's encouraging. Well, I don't see any thermal cracking. Ha! That's pretty cool. I was a little worried when I initially opened the pressure pot to have a look at it. But, you know, I don't think I'm going to do anything with this. I think that whatever we're going to make here is going to be this big. Just time constraints mainly, really. And I'll never match this resin. Although it's kind of cool how these drop down in here. But the thing is, this is going to be all turned away. So then you're not going to really have this little dip in here. Same thing here, wherever the wood is. That's all going to be gone. So, I don't know. Other than that, I mean, it looks great. These pine cones in here should be interesting. All right, cool. I thought that it, was best to open up the pressure pot and get a look at this, but we'll see you guys tomorrow. Do this. Starting off here with the number 3 Hercules from Hunter Tool Systems. Absolutely love this tool. It's my go-to tool as far as working with wood and epoxy pieces, or just straight up epoxy pieces. Anyway, I'm not going to let you wait any longer. If you follow my channel, you know that my wife and I have our house for sale, and that's because we want to move back to our home province of New Brunswick that's on the east coast of Canada. And we've done some renovations to the house, and on Saturday we had a showing and they decided to put an offer in. So with some negotiating back and forth, we accepted their offer. There are conditions that they have to meet on their end in order for the sale to be complete, but my wife and I are absolutely ecstatic. There's always a but. After talking to our builder to see what would be the time frame, he informs us that he cannot take the build on until next year. So we're still hoping that the workshop can be done this fall. He said that he's going to do his best to try and fit it in, but yeah. So we were really heartbroken over it, to be honest with you. So, and he said, I don't even know if you can be the first build in the spring. And we totally understand this. He's got a business to run and he can't wait on us. He's been waiting on us to sell our house for a very long time. And hey, he's got bills to pay, so we totally understand that. So anyway, the good news is we have an offer on the house and an accepted offer. Let's hope it all works out. All right, so what do we do here? If I were to say turn this into a lidded dish, because we have this going on, you'd have to come back to probably about here and cut this off, and then hopefully you get your tenon out of this portion too. So you're going to lose probably a good solid 1.5 inches off the casting. This here, you could turn this down, and then this area here would be the knob to pull it off. So, you're probably looking at there. I don't know. Whereas I can pretty much save the entire size of this piece if it's turned into a hollow form. Sweep this off here, do our opening in the top here, and then that way when you're looking down on it, you're going to get those pine cones, and the resin's still going to be there, and you're going to have the height. This is going to be considerably shorter by at least 1 inch, probably, an inch, 1.25 inches, possibly even 1.5 inches off the height of this. So, I think that what I'm going to do is make a hollow form out of this. I know that a lot of people would probably want functional work, but I also like to think that a lot of people would really like a nice artistic piece. So I think that that's the direction I'm going to go in. By all means, leave a comment down below and tell me what you think you would have done. The other issue too is right in the very center of this, there's no wood at all. It's all epoxy. So that's another, thing. I don't know. But anyway, I think a hollow form is the way to go with this. And I think that it's going to really show off this wood and this resin really nicely, along with our pine cones. Our pine cones are still buried in here. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to put a glue block on the bottom of this like I usually do. So I'm just prepping the bottom here. And again, I'll be using birch again this week. I'm finding that these large birch waste blocks seem to really hold well. So I'll stick with them until they fail or something along those lines. Didn't turn a tenon on the top of this, just didn't really have a ton of room to do that. And again, I just didn't want to take anything off the size. I probably could have blended the tenon in the top into this piece, but I did not do that. So, it's a little difficult to do this, but in the end, I get it. Close enough anyway. Well, that's not perfect, but didn't really have any way to hold this on the top, so that's not that bad. That's even better. So like I said, there's still some obstacles in the way as far as, having the house sell 100% here. So the closing date as it stands right now is the 24th of October. And our builder thinks that, really at this stage, we probably won't be in the house until probably November. So you're looking at over a year before we're in our new home. Definitely not the situation that we want it to be in. I'm a little too old and cantankerous to be homeless that long, but we won't be homeless. We've got family down there, and we're going to be able to stay with somebody. And we're thinking right now that that's going to be her father. But we've got some plans there, hopefully, that will work out. But yeah, it was a very up and down, stressful week, and anybody that's sold a house certainly will know what I'm talking about. But yeah, I mean, we're finally there's still some obstacles in the way, but we're really thinking positive that this is it. And as far as pulling the house off the market as we go into winter here, that's not really an option. We will take the sale and live with family until the new place is done. But I'm really hoping that the workshop will be done beforehand. And regardless, my brother-in-law has offered up half of his garage for me to run my channel in until such time. So absolutely thank you so much to him and my sister-in-law for that. So it looks like there's going to be a lot of freebie gifts going their way in the future. That's where it's going to be. Anyway, my primary focus is to keep this channel going. We need the revenue from my channel to make this, this move and this new build a thing. So it's important that I do that. Will there be channel interruptions? Maybe when we're moving. I'm going to do my best to try and shoot some videos ahead, but I've got a ton of things to do and a ton of things to figure out as far as the move is concerned. The place that I'm going to be working out of, as it stands right now, is, it's probably going to be 12 by 24. I think it's a 24 by 24 garage. So, I'll have to definitely downsize and figure out what I'm going to do with my equipment. I'll probably store a lot of my stuff in the sea container once that's moved. So, there's some logistical challenges coming up here. But, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out one way or another. But I hope to have a functional workshop where I can bring you content each week, and that is my primary goal as far as getting my channel going and having some videos for you guys to watch. So as you can see, we've bumped up to 1,000 RPM. Again, another thing that I need to cover every time I do one of these giveaways, there's usually scammers, and what they may do is reply to your comment and say, oh, congratulations, you've won, and this kind of business. And, they'll maybe even use my icon. So there's a lot of things, I will announce the winner at the end of this video. And, you know, there's only going to be one winner for the epoxy and one winner for the giveaway for this hollow form. So please don't get scammed by these people. Unfortunately, that is the world that we live in. But this so far is looking like a really cool piece. Really start to see the pine cone come through there. I actually really like this piece. So anyway, there's that. And if anybody does reply to your comment, you know, oh, congratulations, you've won, and they'll put a cell phone number in there, that's spam, 100% spam. And so to the right of their comment will be 3 dots. You can click on that and report it as spam, and then YouTube will take it down. I really hate the fact that I have to deal with this every time I do these giveaways, and you know, it's one of these things. When you wonder why a lot of YouTubers don't do giveaways, it's because a lot of times we have to deal with this. But you know, I think that it's very important to give back to you guys. Without you guys, I'm nothing. So you know, the very least I can do is do these giveaways. And again, thanks to Designer Epoxy for doing this as well. Fantastic company to work with. Gabriel and his team are absolutely awesome to deal with on the phone, and they are very accommodating. So thanks to Designer Epoxy again. So I'm relatively happy with the outside, the way this looks. I will change things up slightly near the base of this piece. So, you know, it's time to drill this out. I think I started with 1 1/16", and then I went to 1 7/8", 2-inch. I can't remember exactly. It's somewhere around there. And, you know, I don't want these openings to be too large. I mean, that's the whole idea of these hollow forms. And anyway, hopefully you guys like this piece, because I really, really do like it. I really love the look of the pine cone flowers on the top and on the side. Well, all right, we're all set up and ready for hollowing. This is the one-way captive system from oneway.ca. Here's your captive bars in the back if you haven't seen the system before. This is the 1/4-inch retrofit tool from Hunter Tool Systems. Wouldn't even think about doing this without the steady rest in place. Now, the 2 times that I've had issues with the epoxy and what almost looks like stretch marks have been in instances like this where the wheels are sitting on a curved surface. So I'll be watching out for that. If it happens again, it's not a real big deal. We just need to trim a little bit away. But you know, it's something that I will certainly keep an eye on. My laser is set at 1/2 inch, but you know, the goal right now is just to open up a ton of room inside of this so we don't have to keep shutting it off all the time to clear the shavings away. All right, let's do it. So I must say that I really do like these retrofit tools. I've got 3/16", 1/4-inch, 3/8", and I also have a round one. So I'm glad that Mike sent these along from Mike Hunter from Hunter Tools. I really do like these. I don't even know if I've changed the cutter once, I think, on the 3/16". I don't think I've done it on anything else though. So that kind of shows you the longevity of the cutters in these too. So that's fantastic. So we're going to use pretty much all of the boring bars that come with this system. That's the large, robust 3/4-inch one. And I'll be using the double bent and the single bent boring bars that come with the system. The only one I don't use is the thinner straight bar, because to be honest with you, I don't even know why it's with the system, because I would stick with this one any day of the week. I suppose if you have a smaller opening, you'd want a smaller diameter boring bar, so that must be why it's there. Now, for whatever reason, my brand new DeWalt vacuum cleaner quit. I'm a fan of DeWalt tools, and I've had great success with DeWalt tools in the past, but for whatever reason, this vacuum cleaner quit. You know, I debated on buying a shop vac. I have a larger shop vac that's in the house, and I think that I've had that thing for 25 years. And it's been a really good vacuum cleaner. And the DeWalt one that I bought, the cord still has memory in it. Like, it's still kind of, it was all kind of folded up. That's how new it is. So that'll have to go back to the store, and hopefully I can get that exchanged without too many issues. But I was really surprised to see that quit. So there's the double bent bar. That's the 3/16" parting tool, the retrofit tool. And again, all the links are down in the description for this stuff. And go down and check them out and use code INLAYGEM at checkout. And you can get your discount. Anyway, we're still opening up some room on this. And I think I'll soon switch out to the bent bar. I didn't shoot a ton of footage here. Again, you know, there's not really a whole lot for you guys to see. So, but anyway, just cleaning up the very top end of this. Now, because I ended up getting a few little catches here and there on the very top, this ended up getting a little thinner on the top than I like. But in a way, it's kind of cool because it goes probably from, say, just a little under 1/4 inch all the way down to, I don't know, probably 1/2 inch in the base. So it's kind of neat that it's got a tapered thickness to it. There is the there's the bent bar. The one we had in there before that was the double bent. Anyway, it won't be long before we'll be able to hopefully move on to sanding, but I really love this system from One Way. I certainly am open to trying other systems. If you have a recommendation, please leave it in the comments down below, systems that you're using that you're happy with. And maybe I can get that system on the channel here and we can have a look at that and see how it performs. So I wasn't real happy with the foot area here. The problem with using larger jaws is that it's sometimes harder to get a small foot. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm just using the parting tool and of course the Hercules here and to cut in and try and make this foot smaller than what it is, because it looked to be too big and heavy for me. Always important to measure manually. Even when I've got the laser system set up, it just sometimes because of the wheels, where the wheels are situated and the bar that's on the top, sometimes I have a real hard time measuring things. So manual measuring is a must, and you should always check stuff because your laser can move. It can vibrate loose and then you're in trouble. But anyway, we're just going to take some final little passes on this, and the steady rest didn't leave any marks behind this time, so happy days for that. And I really like the look of this, and hopefully the winner does as well. Well, all right, this is what it looks like before we start sanding. I want to make this foot smaller, so I came in there, there's a little ridge there. Still need to take care of that before I sand the outside. But as far as the inside goes, you know, I'm reasonably happy with that. Right down in the base, we got to do some sanding there for sure. But overall, I mean, it's pretty decent. Really can't complain about that. I never noticed how much that is at the very bottom here until I took all of the rig off. So anyway, I guess now we'll be hand sanding. That's Cindy Drozda's light, actually, if you're curious what I'm using here. All right, sanding next. We're going to be using the 3.5 inch stipple disc from sandpaper.ca, and of course the little handle there from Alan again. Thanks again for that. And I'm going to sand this piece from 60 to 180 because I'm going to do a resin coat on the inside and the outside of this piece. The sanding pad that's on the end of that extension is something like 1.5 inches or something like that. It's quite small, so that allows the 3.5 inch stipple disc to wrap around that, and you can sand down the sidewalls from the very top all the way down to the base. So you know, I really like sanding these hollow forms that way. And of course, the fact that there's no marks on the outside of this from the steady rest was a real bonus as well. But anyway, once we get this sanded up, we'll be able to throw a coat of Pro Series on here. And I was having a hard time getting in next to the chuck, so that's why I switched to the air-powered sander, the right-angled air-powered sander. All right, here we go. 3 ounces of the Pro Series. There, I'll leave that upside down for 10 minutes and we'll be right back to do the outside. If you're new here and you haven't seen this process before, I'm using a silicone barbecue brush. And the reason why I'm using a silicone barbecue brush is because I could throw this in acetone afterwards and clean this up and just keep reusing it. And of course, if you're using a normal brush, the hairs might get pulled out of it and then be stuck on the surface of the piece you're working on. Well, there you go. What do you think of that? There's that pine cone from the side. 2 pine cone flowers on the top right here. The epoxy is spectacular. Love the maple. I don't know if you can hear the crows outside, but they like it too. And the form, kind of a squat form, but I really like how these appear to be just kind of, I don't know, half moons at the top, if you will. I think it's beautiful. Anyway, let me know in the comments what you think. Down inside, nice little detail there. Awesome. It is definitely way thinner at the top than it is at the base. Anyway, I'll throw this in a clean room overnight where the heat is. This will cure, and we get our first coat of Waterlux on tomorrow. Well, it is the next day. I thought I would show you this before I proceed with sanding. Lots of dry spots. All up here on this end grain. See it there. Yeah, some over here too on this. There's actually quite a few runs down below here too. I typically don't get those when I put that first coat of Pro Series on, but we did this time around. As far as inside is concerned, it doesn't look too bad. There are some bubble areas down in there, so I probably will sand this and then it will get another epoxy coat on the inside. So what I'm going to be doing is sanding from 180 to 800. Then we'll throw some water or throw some Triple E on there and get our first coat of finish on. First coat of Waterlux anyway. I'm pretty much asked every video why I do this process, and the main reason for that is down inside of these forms you may possibly have some chip out or some torn grain. It is important to seal the inside of these pieces so down the road they can't absorb moisture and lose moisture and crack. So that's probably the main reason for that. Along with that, the epoxy will soak into the end grain and help seal that up so that you don't have to use as many coats of, say, the Waterlux after the epoxy coat. So that is the main reason why I do this, and it just adds a lot of strength to the inside of the piece as well. Sorry, I forgot to turn the camera on for the buffing, but just use the Triple E like I usually do. So now that the buffing is done, we're able to use the denatured alcohol here to clean the surface. That way we don't have any adhesion issues. All right, here's the first coat of Waterlux Gloss. Well, there it is, and its first coat of Waterlux. The finish on this is certainly flatter now than it is with the epoxy. This will definitely take at least one more coat, possibly two. Man, I love those cones. If I get the right amount of light here. Cones are awesome. Look like flowers on the top. But you can tell where the end grain is, it's It's definitely dry or drying. But if you put too much on at this point, it's just going to sag. So anyway, I will do the next coat the same as this one. Hopefully that will be it. And we'll see you when we're doing the bottom. I did see actually some bird's eye on here yesterday. Where to go to? Bird's eye in this area right here. I don't know if the camera's going to pick that up or not. Anyway, we'll see you when we're doing the foot. So as you watch me use my vacuum chuck here to finish the bottom on this week's project, I'd like to personally thank you all for watching this week's video. Special shout out to the members. I know that I got the content out a little late this week. Just a crazy week. Along with that, I will link last week's video at the end of this video in case you missed it. And it was basically a burrow rescue, and you know, it really went a lot better than I thought it was going to. That's for sure. So anyway, I'm just going to mention here that the bottom was sanded to 400. I didn't see the need to go any higher than that. All right, let's see who's in the running for the draws this time around. Good luck, everyone. All right, so these are the names for the hollow form. There's been 29 videos since the last giveaway at 120,000 subscribers. These are the names that the YouTube random comment picker have selected for the hollow form. I'll just let you have a look at that. Pause the screen if you need to. See your name there. But these are the names that it has selected. These are the names that have been selected by the random YouTube comment picker for the epoxy draw. Again, 29 videos. I pretty much included all of the content, including the 120,000 subscriber giveaway video, even the video when we were down east to show you where the house and the workshop is going to be. Again, I'll give you a chance to pause on that and have a look at it. Other than that, let's throw these names into a hat and do the draw for the epoxy. All right, so here are all the names for the epoxy. I mean, there's a lot of them. So anyway, we'll throw those in there. Put our lid on and the winner of the 3-gallon kit from Designer Epoxy is, through here, I have it right here. The winner of the 3-gallon kit from Designer Epoxy is Willa Powell Grace in the Wild. She comments each and every week. Congratulations. You are the winner of the 3-gallon kit from Designer Epoxy. Please send your details to spraguewoodturning@gmail.com, including a phone number for the customs form, and Designer Epoxy will get your 3-gallon kit mailed out to you. Congratulations. All right, let's do the hollow form. All right, so here are all the names for the hollow form. Put those in there. And the winner of the hollow form is, drum roll please, just kind of picking all through these. Here it is right here. The winner of the winner of the hollow form is Cheryl Smith, 900. Cheryl Smith, 900. Congratulations, you are the winner of the hollow form. Thank you so much for commenting. And you know, I know that a lot of people comment each and every week and their name is never selected. One that comes to mind right off the top of my mind is Jim D. He comments every week, and of the 60 times that he probably could have won this, his name was never selected. So, you know, Please keep commenting, and you never know, one day it might be your day. All right, let's actually talk about the hull form this week. You wear these glasses too. Well, it's going to be interesting to see what you guys think about the shape of this form. I don't think we've done anything like this. The pine cones on the top, I think, are really, really cool. And it is definitely bottom heavy. So it goes from a thin at the top, and then of course it gets a little larger at the bottom. It's going to be interesting when this is lit up, because one of the reasons why I like to keep my epoxies at a 1/2 inch thickness is because the thinner the epoxy gets, the more the color washes out of it. So when we light this up here, I'm going to assume it's going to be very whitish clear, if you will. And as you go deeper down into the form, you'll see probably the more natural color. But I'm just assuming that. I haven't shot that footage yet. But it still needs another coat on the inside. And here are the details on the bottom. And of course, there's no finish because as per normal, I am out of time. Anyway, I really like the look of this. The pine cone on the side, again, with the lit footage from within, should really stand out quite nicely. And, you know, there's a lot going on in this piece. I really like the fact that, you know, the heart has gone out of this piece. So you've got that really cool piece of resin in there. I just really like the look of it, and hopefully you guys do. So please leave a comment down below and let me know what you think about this beautiful hollow form. And congratulations to the winners. Don't forget to put designer epoxy in the comments down below to be entered into the next giveaway at 135,000. Yes, we're going to switch back to every 5,000. Getting here was extremely slow and painful. So, I mean, I don't know. We're kind of at a point where I don't know how much larger my account is going to grow. So we're going to switch it back to every 5,000. And that way we can give away some more stuff. So anyway, put designer epoxy down below to be entered into the next giveaway. And along with that, when you do comment down below, you'll also be entered into my giveaway. And I should mention that designer epoxy is only for Canada and continental USA. Next week has been very trying on my patience. So I'll just leave it at that. There's been some things go wrong with it, but I think that it's going to be actually a really cool thing, whatever it's going to be, because at this point I really don't know what it is. But anyway, that's it. Take care, stay safe. Don't forget the bell. Please share my videos with your friends. That is the largest way for me to grow my presence here on YouTube. And thank you all for helping me to get to 130,000 subscribers. And I really do mean that from the bottom of my heart. A lot of unknowns coming up, but I will do my darndest to keep my channel going and to keep, you know, my subscribers happy. Anyway, hopefully we'll see you next week. Have a great weekend.